finals time at the HSBC Sydney Sevens, the scenic city in New South Wales with wonderful landmarks, beautiful sunshine, of course, and it is going to be scorching here at Spotless Stadium. 4 teams remain in the hunt for the Women's Cup, but with the race for Olympic qualification also heating up, there is added incentive for all of them to finish strongly. Welcome into Spotless Stadium. An early start for our teams today, an early start for everyone, but it is looking a picture for leg 3 of the series that takes us around the world. The season started at a new host venue, Glendale, Colorado, and a perfect start for New Zealand.
Portia Woodman showing a lot of fitness. Back-to-back scores for her. Ruby Tui's there. Portia Woodman's there. Ruby Tui's there. You go have it, number 11. You go eat some. The champions, New Zealand.
To the traditional stop in Dubai, where once again the Kiwis were unstoppable. Broughton extends the lead for New Zealand. Teresa Fitzpatrick, one way then the other, and finds Nathan Wong. That might be the one for New Zealand. The Dubai Sevens trophy back in the hands of the New Zealand team once more. Leg 3 takes us down under to Sydney and the sizzling southern summer. And then in April, it's off to the port city of Kitakyushu, Japan, our Olympic hosts in 2020. The ever-popular Langford, Canada event is the penultimate stop on the tour as the race for the title heats up. And then we finish in France and the coastal city of Biarritz to determine our series champions. This is where we stand after 4 tournaments. New Zealand at the top. The 4 teams highlighted in gold. New Zealand, Canada, USA and Australia. They are highlighted as such because that's automatic Olympic qualification. But with some of the results already here this weekend, Canada's going to take a bit of a drop. USA and Australia might be heading up. France, Russia and Ireland really coming into the mix now as we head into the second half of the season. The DHL Impact player with players who have really done it all for their teams over the course of the weekend. Megan Jones, great for her to be at the top after a return from a long-term injury. Chen Yi from China, outstanding talent for them. Here's our draw, how it's looked so far. The quarter-finalists going through: New Zealand taking on the USA and Ireland getting up over Spain to reach their first semi-final. The 5th place semi-final, our first match of the day, Canada, Russia, Spain and France. And as I said, so important for those teams to finish as high as possible. Of course, on this side, there's a lot more on offer. The Cup final is tantalisingly close for New Zealand, USA, Ireland and Australia. But we begin here with Canada and Russia, the 5th place semi-final. And it is hugely important for these teams. Canada were beaten by New Zealand in their quarter-finals, but really it was their first day where they fell away at the second half in their pool games that have got them in a bit of trouble and ultimately out of the hunt for the title. Russia let it slip in the final moments of their quarter-final against the USA. New Zealand fans in early. And our teams out early on. Canada in the white, their alternate strip. And Russia in the red and blue. Canadian team needing to pick themselves up. I'm Ricky Swanell, and alongside me, former England legend, Danielle Waterman. Nolly, we've mentioned it, Olympic qualification, that 4th spot as we're heading into the second half of the season. Imperative for these teams to get as high as they can today.
It's really important that they focus on their performance this morning. It's very early for the teams that get up, and I'm sure that they'll be disappointed with their detail in terms of how they played.
Early start for Tavita Rokovarini, referee from Fiji.
Red black.
While we said it's up early, I don't know if these players will mind it all that much because it's looking like we're heading towards 30-odd degrees later in the day, in the heat of the day. Get these matches done. And it's Canada to kick off first, Ghislaine Landry. Sends it high into the sun for Russia to bring it down. Oh, the target was Crossley. She's been so good under that high ball. Caroline Crossley couldn't quite bring that one down, however. So it means Russia sliding. A little bit of dew on the ground early in the mornings. That sun just starts to come over and it'll burn off pretty quickly. Lushina sliding across field for Hamidova. Hamidova, oh, big fend in the face of Charity Williams. Hamidova with Landry to beat. Tries to fend her off. Landry goes again and again. Eventually, she brings down Hamidova. Oh, Lushina just holds on for Russia. But a great bust out by Hamidova has put Russia on the front foot. Little wraparound for Seradina. Flat ball into midfield. There's a cover. Ball goes to ground. Bistrova coming to track back. Mikhailsova, first time we've seen the captain into the action. Canada having to make a lot of early tackles. Mileski getting in on that one. So they're almost back to the point where Hamidova made her break. So let's see if she can do it again. This time, Farella and Williams hang on, but she still makes a good 10 metres. Hamidova then loses the ball forward and gives away a penalty. Canada look to go quickly. Crossley through the hands again. Just wonder if that ball is a little greasy. Knock on. Yeah, as I said, there was some dew on the ground. That sun's quite glary this morning as well. The early doors is making it tricky for everyone, Molly.
Yeah, frustrating error for Canada, but some brilliant defence, especially from Landry. We saw the big bad handoff from Hamidova come once, and they're expecting it again against a small sweeper, but she's brave and she got it down.
Oh, it's such a mismatch, isn't it? Hamidova, 1.84 m, long legs and muscle, and Landry comparatively tiny. As Russia feed the scrum and burst away. Zidkova, real ball flicked out the back for Lushina. Here's Hamidova again, but that ball low to the ground. Here she goes, straight through the gap. Hamidova taken down by Crossley. Lushina. And the ball getting every second pass at the moment. Daria Lushina in jersey 2. Russia trying to get around the outside, but Ben's too good for that. Had Bistrova well wrapped up, and now Zidkova. Williams.
Taking up space wide.
Looks like she tried to get in there, but Canada, I think it was Mileski who's given away a penalty.
Mileski didn't clear the tackle area, which made it difficult for the supporting player to look after it. It was some really good body height from Charity Williams. You thought the turnover was going their way, but the referee deemed that it was impossible for Russia to look after it, so penalty their way.
She's really strong over in that position, isn't she, Charity Williams, when she gets herself locked in over that ball. Really solid, that lower body. It's in good position.
She's got a big, strong, wide base, which allows her to drop her body height, but she also keeps strong through her chest and her back, which means she makes it really difficult for her to be moved.
The throw comes from Daria Lushina, knocked down by Hamidova, and it is there for the Russian playmaker. Now they try and spread it. Seradina on the wraparound. She's got pace, Seradina, and so has this woman, Elena Zidkova. She's the real flyer in the Russian team. She's spied a gap, tries to accelerate through, gets the ball off to Mikhailsova. Lushina there in support, can't hang on though. So again, Canada scramble, and they force the Russian error just as Russia looked like they were swinging on to attack. Flat ball for Landry, busting through the hole. And in support, that's flat as well. Not forward, oh, Farella. Bianca Farella, first touch of the ball. Looks like she's a bit of the walking wounded today. But that doesn't matter because the legs are still working at fine pace. And Bianca Farella will go in under the bar for Canada.
Farella has been class this weekend. There's been a few mistakes from Canada throughout the last couple of days, but she's been consistent. Line breaks, she's got 3 tries, it's her 4th one she's dotted down. And she's also got an interesting face mask for this Sunday morning.
It's a smidge Phantom of the Opera, doesn't it? But the main thing's working. She is absolute class, Bianca Farella. Canada having defended a lot. Strike first, Landry converts to take a 7-0 lead with just under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Farella and Blyde just tracking neck and neck. Tries this season. Crossley this time's able to bat it down, and Mileski picks up the loose ball for the Canadians. Here goes Greenshields into the action really for the first time. Julia Greenshields, always a dangerous runner. Referee gets shoved out of the way by Ben as she clears to Landry. Ben again, second touch in the movement for Brittany Ben. Landry, oh, great support play by Canada. Farella just took her eye off the ball.
Brilliant build-up play. The pass was there. She probably just got a little bit eager and it hit her shoulder rather than giving Landry the space to pass into. There seems to be a really nice energy about this Canadian side this morning. They'll be desperately disappointed with their performance against New Zealand because they did let the game slip from their own mistakes.
Oh yeah, they were in that quarter-final. It was a heck of a match.
Sit.
A couple of critical errors really cost them. New Zealand made them pay. Russia's given away a free kick here with an early shove, and Canada want to go quickly. Mileski trying to fend off her opposite, using her strength, just dragged back at the final moments. Ball's there for Canada. They need a halfback to clear, and it's Greenshields. Now space out wide, and this is going to be an easy stroll-in try for Kaylee Lucan. Good team try by Canada.
Good finish from Lucan and good work securing that ball. Mileski, I thought she was over the line herself from that breakdown. Interesting defence from Russia. You normally man up in terms of your numbers, especially when you're on the line, but they just left an easy 2-on-1, and the Canadians are always going to take that.
Kick off the post, but it's a good first half for Canada. They had to defend early, but they fought back well, and they had to take a 12-0 lead into the halftime break.
Pull clock on the players, please. Riddle, connect. 1, 2, 3. Hey, great job on defense, ladies. Right? That's what we want to do on defense, just stay connected, right, and stay in front of them. Watch for those runners come in. Tacklers, once they're over that ball, we got to get up and get into the A's and get ready for that tackle, that punch, so we get a double tackle on them when they come in like that, right? Shift mentality, right? They're falling off here, right? So shift mentality is we get that ball and we got to link and go. If somebody called for a pass and they don't give it because they're attacking as they see a gap, we got to funnel, right? Julia went right at it. Can't stand off waiting for a deep pass, we just go, right? Because then if we either have a quick ruck or a little offload and run to the post. Okay? Good work.
Up the communication, girls on defense. We gotta up it. I know we're gonna see it.
Constantly there.
We're not.
Constantly.
We're here, ladies. We're here. We are good. Air leaving gaps. Yeah. Go together.
Always calm, John Tate. John Tate, the Canadian coach, firstly, as I said before, praising the defence and then giving the instructions. They defended well in that first half. Russia need to find a way back in.
He's talked about connection in defence because these Russians throw a lot of dummy cuts. They also cover, they run fast across the field, looking for holes, looking for people that haven't quite covered the gap. And Canadians did that really well in the first half.
Canada 12, Russia 0 to start the second half as it bounces into the hands of the Canadian captain Landry. Throws an awkward old ball for Kaylee Lucan to go back and recover. Farella. Nicholas onto the field for Canada, Brianne Nicholas, and now ranging out wide as Ben just loves going into hard, heavy contact. No care for her own body. Nicholas just running a little bit sideways. Farella, now they're going forward again, Canada. Mileski. Big shove coming in, Hamid over. Eventually the penalty is there.
It's an interesting call because I thought she actually released the person that she had tackled and then locked straight onto Ben, who was the supporting player. You see her arms, she goes straight onto Ben. So she has actually released the person with the ball, but hey, the referee's seen it in a slightly different way to us this morning.
Because it's the clear release, isn't it? Hamidova's been really good so far in this match for Russia, though. She's been the one who's looked the most dangerous. Christina Seradina's got herself got a bit confused on the right side, and now we're away. Varela quickly down into the hands of Nicholas. Landry ranging in midfield with Ben outside. Back in the hands of Landry, captain on captain. She gets rid of the ball and goes to Lukin, who steps through the tackle of Mikhaltsova. A lot of chatter in the Russian defensive line. Communication, hands again, and coming in as the ball's lost and it's scooped up by Arina Bystrova, and she's going to punish the Canadian error, and Arina Bystrova gets Russia back into it.
Bystrova pounces on the loose ball, and there is no way Landry was going to catch this athletic, powerful, speedy player. But that, for me, comes from a connected, aggressive and organised defence from Russia, which we sometimes don't necessarily see. They're making it difficult for Canada to attack and creating unforced errors like that.
So Russia rather, strike back through Arina Bystrova. She really did pounce. 12 points to 5. Canada lead. Ball taken down by Ben. Nice little short ball for Mileski. Nicholas points one way and then goes the other to his skipper Landry. All in front of the face of Varela. Good hands, and then a nice one for Lukin outside. Mikhaltsova comes across to make the tackle.
Hands up.
Canada recycling and retaining possession. Williams back out there for them now, and finally with a little bit of space. Hasn't seen a lot of it, Charity Williams, and that's going to be a penalty for a high shot. In fact, it might be a yellow card. Just got up too high. Just onto the field, Yana Danilova. It was a clear high shot.
Some better build-up play in Canadians' attack there. They went edge to edge. Their two in attack managed to get on the outside of the edge defender, which has put both of their wingers away. And yeah, you can't go around someone's neck. And he's saying so too.
Yeah, just in case you've missed it, ref.
Or 6'6" of Dawn, maybe more, 6'9" of John Tate's telling him to.
He belies his stature, doesn't he? Very calm, measured chap. Nice man. He's just enormous, imposing figure on the sideline. Canada will want another one here just to give them a bit more breathing space, but there was a knock on from Ben on the ground.
I think Nicholas there made a couple of errors. She looked a little bit unsure of what she wanted to do, passed it into the floor. I think you're a really talented young player, but definitely still lots to learn. And you know, she's got the likes of Landry to, I'm sure, be mentoring her through it.
Fine.
Not a bad teacher.
Sit.
Russia. Oh, Mikhaltsova. Seen a little bit of that
Backwards.
ball through the hands and squirting out there. Varela able to pounce, trying to get in there, but it's a good clean out from Mikhaltsova. Now Ben rushing up. Sina working down line side. Hamidova tries to get the step on, but Ben's awake to it and
No, not on the ground.
knocked on, but it's played on the ground by Ben.
Mustn't have held the ball on the ground. Slapping it away.
Russia down to 6 for another 10 odd seconds. It'll take a lot of time to set this penalty.
Cheers, mate.
Not quite sure what happened there. I don't know whether the referee deemed Ben's hand to hit the ball back, which you're not allowed to do when you're lying on the floor. You can't touch the ball. You have to be on your feet to play in the game.
Chance here for Russia to press.
Just step
They
out.
need to do it quickly.
Thank you. Keep it clear.
This is the first of the 5th place semi-final, so the winner of this will go off to play for 5th and 6th as the one-handed line-out heave goes in, but it worked to perfection because it found Hamidova. Kukina outside to Noletsina.
Release now, White. Thank you.
Defensively, they've been very sound, Canada. Russian try coming from an error. And the knock on. Kukina. Wrapped up by Nicholas.
Ruck.
Ben trying to rip in, and a knock on comes
Wanted wide.
for Russia, and it's all because of just good, solid Canadian defence. Landry needs some support, though. They'll go back for the
Wanted under
knock on.
pressure. Knock on over here. A black.
I don't know whether that was Landry we could hear asking, "Get behind me!" As she's getting driven back by one of the powerful Russians.
So this will be a Canada put into the scrum,
Come off. Number 2, White.
and I'd imagine the call will be get it in, get it out, and get it over the sideline.
Tap it on. Crouch. Bind. Sit.
Nicholas to feed in. The out hasn't quite happened, and now it will. Landry will put a full stop on a good disciplined performance by the Canadians, and they'll be happy with how they've come out early doors here to beat Russia in the 5th place semi-final. 12 points to 5. Canada will go through for the 5th-6th playoff.
Good start to the day from Canada. Really nice hustle in defence, getting into the Russians, not giving them any space. And the Russians, I'm sure, will be frustrated with themselves this weekend. We haven't seen the best of Mikhaltsova. She's been, normally she tops the charts on the DHL tracker.
Well, let's go down for some reaction from the Canadian team. Nat Yanidis is down sideline.
Yeah, I've got Brittany Ben down here with me. Brittany, it was a good start to the day. A lot of energy in that performance. What did you like about that game?
Yeah, it wasn't the best weekend we've had. Day 1 and day 2 were pretty up and down, so it was just important to come out and play Canada rugby and play together as 12.
After the disappointment of yesterday, how important is it to finish this tournament, on a high with positives?
Yeah, it's definitely key to our confidence too. We know what we're capable of, and I think that's what's most important to keep in mind, and that's what we did. We came out here and we just brought it to Russia. We know they're a physical team, and we just out-physicality them, and yeah, that's where we are.
Well, good luck for the rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you.
Fans in early. A good start for Canada, as Brittany Ben said. Just able to play their own game and dictate the terms, so to go through and play off for 5th and 6th. Kiwis are coming early. Their team playing in the semi-final in a little while against the USA. And their team's in action too a little bit later too, so plenty of exciting, enticing matchups to come on the Sunday morning in Sydney as we head towards the Women's Cup final later in the evening. Let's continue on though and hand over to Tiana Penatani and Simon Ward.
Yeah, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone. Please excuse the croaky voice as we get set to head for the finishing line in this year's HSBC Sydney Sevens. 5th place semi-final, Spain against France, European neighbours. looking to have the best possible finish. There's the two lineups. The news there, Maria Garcia, the 18-year-old, in that Spanish lineup. And for France, well, Akemba getting the call to allow Siafani to start from the bench. They know each other well, of course. France have been in dominance, really, in recent games, but early breakfast, the order of the day for fans and players alike. And Tiana, this is a mental battle to start with, to make sure they get off to this final day on the front foot.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, in the traditional format of the women's competition, they play over 2 days. So this being game 1, day 3, it is definitely a mental hurdle they'll need to get over. And France have made the semi-finals in their last 4 international events, so this will be a big disappointment for them. But obviously both teams looking to finish better than what they did in Dubai. France finishing 7th and Spain finishing 10th, but they played 2 completely different games. Spain always creep their way in at the back end of games when teams have switched off, but France, if they can get first points on the board, I think they'll have this one in the bag.
Yes, those losses yesterday, the solitary game on day 2 for these ladies, with France losing a very tight one to the hosts and Spain being beaten by Ireland. So Barbara Pla will be urging her troops forward from the word go. Joy Neville in charge of this one on the final day.
Okay.
An important 14 minutes of rugby for both these sides, because of course this is not just about this tournament, this is about Olympic qualification. And after they've finished today, we're halfway through the season, and then they will really bring those Olympic qualifications into very sharp focus. France playing in their change strip this morning. Akemba opens up, simple handoff, and that is a perfect start for, well, Les Blancs this morning.
Clearly a good decision there from David Courtier to start Akemba instead of having her come off the bench. A big impact there and a big statement from Akemba, but just simple hands here from France. They know what they needed to do, just executing core skills the way they should be done. A massive fend off there from Akemba. Too strong up top.
Yeah, Akemba scored a handful of tries last season here. That's her first one of this weekend. Pedro Di Mateus hoping that his team can settle in quickly. It's like an early change already. Charlotte Torres-Duxin already on into the mix, so just looking to see. Well, it's Chloe Pell. Saw her. Yes, it is. It's the back rower. There she goes. She saw her in the hotel this morning. She looked a little bit patched up then, but taking an early knock. Her teammates in defensive mode. Akemba with a slap forward. She's going to see 2 minutes in the bin for that.
A real opportunity for here for Spain to capitalise on that. Akemba with the intentional knockdown. Tightening up those laws.
Well, from hero to not quite zero in the space of seconds for Serafina Akemba. Now putting a little early duress into her teammates. Short line out works for Patricia Garcia. Pla getting good width on the ball. Pla always that linchpin, the cog that keeps the Spanish machine working. Ball is out. France quickest to react, but Spain just getting the call on that tip forward from a finger.
Yeah, the knock-on would have come out of desperation from this French side. They know they've got one less player on the field. So just scrambling, trying everything they can do to get that ball back, to hold onto the ball for the next 2 minutes.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Garcia with the put in. Such an experienced operator. She's been playing in Japan already this season. Had time in New Zealand with Waikato. A lady who's really enjoyed her rugby and made the most of every opportunity that it brings. There she is again. Out it spins to Marina Bravo, the captain, pushing it back inside. Big opportunity here for Spain. Bravo sets it up. Garcia just with that little hesitation, but still gets the pass away. Step, step, and step again from Maria Garcia, the teenager, showing her value already.
Advantage.
Call is there for Spain, looking to make the most of that player advantage.
Release, second attempt. Release. Back.
Garcia just settling her team down, making sure everybody's on the same page of the playbook. Here she goes. Good tackle from Izar. Clark overloading on this near side, and it's going to pay off. Patricia Garcia finishes things off, and that's a well-constructed Spanish try in the end.
Yeah, very well constructed, especially through the midfield on the previous phases of play. But Patricia Garcia, she always seems to be in the middle of the mix when points are scored. A lovely chop tackle there from France, but Spain just had the numbers on that short side, and Garcia opens this game up for Spain, sorry.
France now back to 7, but that knock-on from Akemba really forced the issue from a French defensive perspective. Conversion doesn't hit the target, but that'll satisfy Garcia and her teammates. Akemba back on the park. So first 5 minutes, and each team with 5 points on the board. Lovely hanging restart. And the break from Echeverria. Well, Spain have definitely got the wind in their sails now. Garcia and Bravo. Good collective defence from France, but they've put plenty of numbers into that breakdown. Can Spain work it into space? Offside call, and discipline already beginning to be a bit of an issue for France. Patricia Garcia slaloms her way through defenders to get her second and Spain's second, and pushing her team into the lead for the first time in this game.
She's such an impressive athlete, Patricia Garcia. We spoke about her moments ago, always in the mix when tries are scored. She's usually the one orchestrating all of the play, but she sees the space, sees that she's got the hips turned of the Spanish defense, just bounces off her left foot and puts her head down. There's not much of her, but she's a little pocket rocket. And coming off the back of some ill discipline there from France, they weren't set in their defensive line, no connection, and Patricia Garcia just made an absolute mess of it.
I bet she's a good skier as well. You can see with that balance, that stop, go, stop again, just keeping her body in perfect position. Garcia, who made the HSBC Dream Team last season, she's going to be in the mix this, you know it. Such a consistent performer. David Cortex, just wondering why his team's heads are right now. The half-time team talk will be very, very important. Chloe Pell just finding nobody on her shoulder, so having to take the contact. Izar. Mayence. Little offload to Caroline Drouin. And Drouin responds just as David Cortex would have hoped. Ooh. Almost splits to finish it, but the 5 points are there in the bag.
This is a style of play that we've seen a lot from France over the last couple of days. A nice little combination on the right edge there between Mayence and Drouin. Just simple early recycle, get the ball out wide, draw in 2 defenders, and then a nice little offload on the inside there to Drouin. But they played a lot of offloads this last few days against teams, especially against a team like this with Spain, who lose connection quite quickly and just overcommit to those tackles, which is where those holes allow
especially when their defence gets pulled out, they expose the fringes. That quite often happens. Now, you've mentioned it, you can see it regularly in their game plans. Well, there's the half-time huddles. Interesting team talks. Nothing between these two sides. Half-time, it's Spain 12, France 12.
Vamos a la tour, tiene que tener más vistas que muy rápida. Hay que ir rápido a los sitios y estar atentas y adaptarnos a lo que está pasando, ¿vale? Después, nuestra gran impresión es, lo hemos visto ya 2 veces en un pase 10 al 12, que la 12 la recibe separada y tiene a 3 encima. O la 10 la recibe un mal pase y tiene a 4 encima. Entonces, si se produce esa situación que es un mal lento, necesito que en accidentes de apoyo se junten. Solo dejar abierta la última, las otras juntaros. Y ahora seguimos generando desequilibrios, ¿vale? Si quieres alternarte con María, te alternas con María. María se pone de 6, María la estresas a la tuya y viene cambiamos de 10, ¿vale? Eli y Casado, os quedáis ahora, entran a Maya y Bea. Seguimos con el mismo planteamiento, ¿vale? Ahora seguimos con el mismo planteamiento, hay que estar agresivas, hay la muerte ahora.
Sí.
Vamos, las tenemos ahí, ¿eh? Vamos a disfrutarlo.
Es un partido físico, va.
So the coaches with their team talks, how does that affect things? Chloe Pell and the French will be delighted with that Drouin try right at the end of the first half, but they know they've got to get their physicality into the game. That's what they're renowned for, and get some forward momentum. Wonderful views here at the Sydney Olympic Park. A beautiful sunny day today. Temperatures supposed to hit 30-31 by mid-afternoon, so maybe it's not so bad that the girls have got an early start this morning. Patricia Garcia, 2 tries already to her name with the restart to the second half. Izar can't take cleanly, but interfered with as Sanchez came through. And France finding that forward gear straight away. Mayons into Izar, looking for that left channel. Out it goes from Orta. Kemba keeping things alive. Mayons on that cutting angle, looking for that weak shoulder, the weak arm to expose.
Playing a very up-tempo game in these first couple of minutes of the second half, but I almost felt like I was watching Fijiana play then with the amount of offloads we just saw.
Maybe that was why. You can hear the beat, you can hear the rhythm. Day 2 has started from the men's tournament. This is day 3 though, and they've really got warmed up and really add such a distinctive ingredient to proceedings here at Sydney. 6 missed tackles from France, and that is a surprise from the French. They're renowned really for their defensive work. Garcia trying to get Spain away from their own 22. Bravo. Sanchez in that playmaker role. Barbara Pla into support. Echeverria. Oh, it's a rainbow pass, but beautifully hauled back in. Nakemba coming back for the tackle. I think that was Lasada. In fact, no, it was Maria Garcia again, the teenager, showing good handling skills. Drouin. Neeson out to Pell. Out to Horta. Horta always threatening. Pass though not clever on that occasion.
Time off.
It was almost a get-out-of-jail-free card there for Spain. It came off the back of some good work defensively from Okemba, makes a track tackle, gets the turnover. But probably a better decision to take it into contact there. She was already halfway down to the ground, and just trying to force that offload just gives Spain easy possession. They'll need a big exit play to get out of this half of the field.
Spain being pressured inside their own 22. Changes off the French bench as Torres Duxin comes on in place of that lady, Colonison. Fifth place semi-final. Teams vying for a place in the fifth place final against Canada later this afternoon. That white line up so hard, so fast. The break from Amaya Urbina, that's the elder sister.
Release, clear release, no clear release. No
Impressive
clear
work
release.
from her younger sister yesterday and making one of her first appearances. Leader Urbina really showing some good physicality in the midfield when she's come on.
Vamos.
Love that from Joy Neville. Speaking the lingo, vamos, let's get going.
5, substitution.
Spain just taking a few risks here, forcing those two passes to take it into contact. They need to get off their line, out of their 22. And France, they're hungry for the ball. Almost got that turnover, but just no clear release there, caused them the penalty.
France certainly seems stoked up by that half-time call from David Cortex, but as yet no reward for the momentum, and Spain holding firm thus far. Good work from Amaya Urbina. Out it goes into that midfield, but still they're having to work from their own 22. There is Urbina the younger, but the ricochet works for France. Oh, Drouin almost getting that ball away. So near and yet so far.
Yeah, they just coughed up the ball here, Spain, once again forcing those offloads, error upon error.
Here we go.
But they'll play the scrum from the first knock-on.
Spain have been stuck inside their own 22 for pretty much all of this second half. The credit to them is that the scoreboard hasn't changed. Can they hold out now for this French put-in? Torres Duxat takes a look at the short side. Spain closed the door fairly quickly, but it's whisked out to the left. Siofani with her first touch of the match. Good tackle from Maria Garcia.
Great work right there from Garcia. Patricia Garcia with the turnover, Maria Garcia with the chop tackle. And Siofani, fresh legs, gets the fend out, but is covered nicely.
Well, Spain finished 6th in this tournament last year. Lost in the 5th place final, coincidentally, to France. Their best result here, and they'll be desperate to try and get as many points as they can. At 9th in the standings at the moment. Had a really good season last season, ended up 7th, principally due to their performance in Kitakyushu when they beat Australia in the pools, they beat England in the quarterfinals, and ended up in real dominant form almost, which is unusual for Spain because that's not the way that their game normally pans out.
And just a little brain snap there from Patricia Garcia. She'll be disappointed with that one. It was a crooked throw into the line-out, which will give France a scrum.
See the penalty count there. France having given 7 penalties away to a solitary penalty from Las Leonas.
Marcus here. Marcus here.
Both teams just trying to get an edge now into the final minute of this game. Of course, today, if it's tied up, we go to extra time and golden point, but Siofani says, I don't want to play anymore in this game. Let's finish it off right here, right now. And Cécile Siofani with her 4th try of the weekend and the try that will send France into that 5th place final this afternoon.
And this is how you make an impact off the bench. We saw Siofani day 1 tear through teams with this footwork. And once she opens up, she's got good ball transition as well, which really sells the defense. And she racks another one up for the tally sheet. 4 tries to her name this weekend.
And that was Siofani holding the ball in both hands to keep the defenders guessing as to where it's going to go, and the balance and pace to finish it off as well.
Houston, 3.
So the kick flies through. We are going to get the restart. It's make or break for the Spanish right now, as Caroline Drouin tries to send it long. Bundled out of the 5th place semi-final as well. And Anne-Cécile Siafani finds the cutting edge that France needed right at the death to get another win. 13th win in 14 encounters between these two, full-time in this 5th place semi-final. Spain 12, France 19. Well, France will get a little bit of feel-good back after that disappointment of losing the quarter-final to Australia yesterday. Points mean prizes. Well, points in this case may mean Olympic qualification come the end of the season. And France know they have to get the maximum all they can now before they break for Kitakyushu in 3 months' time, 2 and a bit. Let's get some reaction. Nat Ioannidis, who have you got, Nat?
Yeah, I'm down here with Chloe Pell. Chloe, they frustrated you towards the end of that match, but eventually you got through to get through to the 5th place playoff.
Yeah, Spain is really a tough team to play. We know that, and they did a really great game, and we're really happy to have beaten them and to go to the 5th place final.
Another try for Siafani. She really is an X factor for this side, isn't she?
Yeah, she's incredible. I love to play with that girl.
Obviously, it's an Olympic qualification year. Just how important is it to make sure that you do keep getting points, even if you're not?
Yes, we are behind Australia and the US, and we absolutely need to get points to make sure that we stand a chance to qualify through World Rugby.
Well, you're through to the 5th place playoff. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So it's time to move up into the Cup semi-finals in the company of Nolly Waterman and Ricky Swanell.
New Zealand's record in the past year has been nothing short of perfect, but it could be under threat as they face the USA in the first semi-final. The Black Ferns are without their playmaker Tyler Nathan Wong, injured yesterday. Another in Kelly Brazier is sitting injured at home. So USA is one of 2 teams to have beaten New Zealand in the past 2 seasons, and they have done it twice. A strong, experienced USA side, desperate to try and end New Zealand's dominance. Nolly Waterman, there is so much on the line here. The absence of Nathan Wong, how does that affect New Zealand?
Nathan Wong is an extremely experienced player and really does set the outside backs alight in this game. But for me, Wata Simpkins, she comes in, and actually most people wouldn't think she's very as experienced as she is. She's played in 18 tournaments, and it's a real opportunity for her to step up. After injuries last season, she'll be looking to, I'm sure, enjoy this opportunity.
You know how to do that. USA, 3, 1, 2, 3.
USA! And although we're talking about the playmakers, the other thing I've noticed from this tournament is New Zealand's tackle completion hasn't been to its normal level. And although England, Canada weren't able to exploit it, I'm sure USA will be looking to make those line breaks and punish some of the mistakes that New Zealand make.
Amy Perrott is the referee in charge. Katarina Wata-Simpkins comes in for Tyler Nathan Wong. She will have the kickoff.
There'll be a countdown and we'll go off that.
More experience, as Nolly said, than people may realise. She's had some injuries last year. Teresa Fitzpatrick, another for New Zealand, a step up. Nicole Haviland looking nice and relaxed. She's ready to lift. Naya Tapper, intensity on her face. The first Cup semi-final is ready to go in Sydney. Wata-Simpkins sends it high into the Sydney sun, and Haviland heaved into the air by Tapper. USA with first attacking possession. Good early charge from Lauren Doyle, but it's ripped away by Wata-Simpkins. So New Zealand looking to counter here. Tui changes direction. Fitzpatrick has got Williams, and now Blyde, but wrapped up in a good tackle is Michaela Blyde. Ball laid back. Fata Simpkins directing traffic, communicating with her team. Hirini in midfield. The New Zealand captain going one way and then back the other. Oh, spot tackle came in on Williams. New Zealand going backwards at the moment. It's robust defence from the USA. Fitzpatrick, early ball out to Blyde. She's going to put the gas on, chopping back in field and spinning out of the tackle. It's there for Niall Williams, puts the head down. Up towards halfway for the Kiwis. They went a long way backwards, but it never really seems to faze them. Fata Simpkins, ball in front of Waka for the first time. Stacey Waka with a step, exploding through the gap. Taken down at a good tackle, though, by Haviland. Hirini wrestling with Ember and Tapper for the ball. USA trying to blow over, but the cover comes in just in time for the Kiwis. Long passage of play. Williams looking to exploit and get Blyde on the outside. Now Blyde's got some space. They're not going to stop Michaela Blyde from there. It was set up by Niall Williams. And Michaela Blyde opens the scoring for New Zealand in the semi-final.
Patience, patience, patience. New Zealand are the best at it. They go edge to edge, challenge the defence. It is exhausting to follow them, and then you've got pace to burn on the edge with Michaela Blyde. Awesome start to the day for them.
Williams getting that ball around the corner, and it left the US defence floundering. Michaela Blyde scores early for New Zealand. Fata Simpkins converts 7-0. Kickoff doesn't go the 10 metres, so error from the restart for New Zealand, having scored points. They're going to hand the ball back to the USA on halfway. The US looking to regroup.
Yeah, when you're ready.
Doyle got runners everywhere in the form of Haviland, and here's Christy Kirsch, the new young player who's really impressed this weekend. Haviland taken down by Fata Simpkins. Fa'avesi clears. New Zealand rushing up in defence, need to make the tackle. Fitzpatrick does. Ball laid back nicely, though, for the USA. Gray Matthias, a strong, robust runner, but Tui's trying to rip that off, and she's won it back for New Zealand, wrestling with Naya Tapper. New Zealand to counter. Here's the Williams-Blyde combination again on the left. Blyde just had to stop as Ember came across and lost her footing slightly. Given away a penalty, though, Cheta Ember. New Zealand tap and go. Hirini. As they slow the pace down, Tui. Waka. Stacey Waka will always take on the line. And the ball around the corner for Tui in support. USA having to make a lot of tackles, and Tui skipped out of one. She's missed it. She's going to go herself, Ruby Tui. She does all the hard work, puts her head in all the nasty places, but she skipped out of a tackle and scored a critical try for New Zealand.
Take a bow, Ruby Tui. She's a complete rugby player. It starts with a turnover that she gets. They go quickly. And the best bit for me about Ruby Tui is she doesn't give up. She's constantly hounding around the ball, but here you see her strength. And then she's got the pace to finish it. Brilliant, brilliant player.
She's pure heart and soul, isn't she? Ruby Tui, she got clobbered. But it's a critical score for New Zealand. Conversion from out wide is just away. Alan Bunting, the New Zealand coach. He talks so much about the team's record, but his isn't bad either. He's lost 3 matches since he's been in charge of this team. USA looking to respond. They need to respond before half-time, but it's back in New Zealand hands. USA can't get hands on ball at the moment. Fata Simpkins, oh, Gray Mattias had rushed up on Gail Broughton, who's out there for New Zealand. But they managed to recover the Black Ferns. USA sweeping across the jerseys in white, trying to cover every angle, every option. Fitzpatrick, Broughton. Fata Simpkins with some room to roam, and that's a lovely ball onto the Chester blind, one-on-one stepping in field. Did well, did Kirsch to slow the pace of Michaela Blyde. New Zealand switching to the other side of the field now. Shakira Baker's out there looking for the ball from Hiddeney. Doesn't get it. Broughton trying to go herself. Gail Broughton, she's got nobody in front of her. Covers coming across. They won't be able to stop Gail Broughton in there. Her skills are too silky. She's got too much class. And Gail Broughton grabs another one for New Zealand.
Broughton's done some real damage this weekend, ball in hand. She's such a nightmare to defend. Not only has she got a step, but she's got a dummy, and she toys with you as a defender. And then the acceleration through the gap. Really, really great work. But at the moment, the stats show New Zealand 45 passes, USA 5, which clearly emphasises just how much ball this New Zealand team have had over USA.
Got the mismatch too, didn't she, on Jordan Gray Mattias. The heads have dropped from the USA. See them in the background as Gail Broughton jogged in for New Zealand's third try. Converted to by Fata Simpkins. 19 points to 0. Shallow restart, battered down by Baker, but it's come off the USA. Not gone forward though, but Cheta Ember just ran out of room. Gone into touch, and that will be half-time. That's a comprehensive first half from New Zealand. They survived the early onslaught, and they'll take a 19-0 lead to the half-time break.
Okay, come on. Main kick, Kerry. Outstanding patience when we've got the ball. We're holding phases, we're attacking clean on the outside. Middles, we need to do more. We need to help our strikers out more and run onto the ball, okay? What we've got, D, stay connected like we have been doing, make our chop tackles. Brilliant, girls. But it now sets up for that last session. Okay? Let's go, girls.
Empty on day, 1, 2, 3.
Empty the tank here.
Right half, lady.
Third channel. Where did we play on the very first run? First channel. Where did we play on the flood? On the snap. Why didn't we play the flood? So, you know what to do, because if you do it, play the right channels and ball security, you'll be in this game.
Yep.
You just defended the whole time. 2 minutes, get the friggin' ball back, and you hold on to it for dear life, and you play the framework.
Hey, Brownie, 1 and 2 set deeper, okay? They are getting a good launch on us. USA on 3. 1, 2, 3. USA! Let's go. Hey, Brownie talked about it 5 minutes.
Two very different styles there. One.
I'll go. You want it? Yeah. Get it.
You see, hearing these step up as the captain, she gets the girls close. She's talked about patience in attack, doing really, really well, but I love the fact that she mentioned the ownership in the middle of the field. She said, we've got to do better in the middle. We've got to put pace onto this ball to give the outside even more space. Whereas Chris Brown, slightly different approach as coach. He's asking questions of his Americans and saying, why are we not doing this? Why are we not sticking to our game plan?
New Zealand 19, USA 0. Second half about to get underway. USA must score first. Cole Haviland overcooks the restart, error straight away. not what they wanted. To say that is an understatement.
A really frustrating start. You just have to try and get the ball from this New Zealand side, and those errors creeping in make it so difficult.
Fata Simpkins taps for Fitzpatrick. Tui cutting back into midfield, trying to manipulate around this side. New Zealand. Fata Simpkins will change her mind and go the other way. Fitzpatrick runs into a white wall of defenders. Hirini back in field for Tui again on the angle. Good tackle, chopped down by Mia Bitzer. Fata Simpkins, beautiful ball out wide. Brought in, she went herself one time. This time she gives to Shakira Baker, the powerhouse on the left. Ember's chasing, but Baker's going to get there. Too big, too strong, Shakira Baker.
She's a powerhouse, but she's got some speed. She covers the ground, and she absolutely burned it into that corner. That little flick from Hirini, though, and every single pass out in front, they don't check their speed. Brought in again, Baker. Yeah, she's a big girl, but she can shift.
Absolutely motored.
USA defence caught short because they tried to compete at the breakdown. They put 2 numbers in. They also had a sweeper in behind, and it's just too difficult to cover the pass in of New Zealand when they go edge to edge.
Shakira Baker extends New Zealand's lead, 24 points to 0 now. Last time these teams played was in Dubai in the semi-final, and that was 22-0, and Chris Brown. There's frustration under those sunglasses. Fata Simpkins sends it down long, nicely brought down by Cheta Emba. Driven a hard tackle by Hirini. She's been a monster in defence. Rushing up Fitzpatrick. Olsen, Lena Olsen into the fray.
Nah, you took a shortcut, not through the gate.
Long entry from Hirini on that occasion. So now, for the first time, really, USA with a bit of ball in hand. There's Tapper on the wraparound, getting it back, clinging on around the ankle. Fitzpatrick, but got a good ball away to Haviland. Haviland being hustled towards the sideline. And she's out over it. So it all breaks down again for the US.
Just too many unforced errors for the US. You can't go off the field and give up cheap possession like that. And Haviland is fighting, she's battling. Naya Tapper needs to go in when she sees that hustle happening and whack her own player back in field. She's watching for that, and there's nothing that Haviland could do.
That statistic there, the last 6, they've won 5 of them. The last one they haven't is this tournament. Never won in Sydney, the New Zealanders. I think that wrinkle sticks in the craw.
Hold.
Ball into the hands of Hirini, and then a quick transfer back to the thrower. Fata Simpkins. Williams was the dummy runner. Fitzpatrick, the ball bounces, got away from Blyde. She's going to be able to keep it in? No. So an opportunity here for the US. They must strike, must use it.
It's a rare error for New Zealand. The really nice set piece at the line out. Just a pass that didn't go to hand. Kind of just wants this USA side to get going. It's like they haven't woken up yet.
No, just went out. It wasn't forward or anything. No, just went out. Okay. I need a towel, ladies. I'm the middle, so you need to step over, please. That's all right. Thank you. USA, I'm the middle, so you can come up.
Haviland with the throw. Brought down, knocked on, but offside.
Over here. Number 15, sorry about that.
Against Tarina Tetamaki out there for New Zealand. Again, ball through the hands, and Teresa Fitzpatrick was the most eager to get to it. Tetamaki. Waka. A few loose passes coming in from both teams at the moment. USA needing to lift, needing to find something if they're going to have any sniff in these final few minutes. Fitzpatrick with room to roam. keeps going, brought down by Haviland, but up over halfway again go the Kiwis. Hirini down the blind side. They were awake to that threat. Fata Simpkins. Here's an inside ball for Te Tamaki. And Williams just skipping out of tackles. They've got it on a string at the moment, the Kiwis. And here goes Waka one-on-one, inside, outside the step. She'll have the pace to get there. Will she? No, coming across. Just had to hold it up. Good response from the USA. I thought Waka was in for all money, but it won't matter anyway because Fata Simpkins is.
This is insane from New Zealand. They can't seem to do anything wrong. Fata Simpkins notices that after the line break, the American defence has left dead on their feet, and she spots the gap in and away. Here, first of all, thought Waka was away. There was a really good defence, but nah, here we go. Try time.
Could have made it slightly easy for herself. Gone round a little bit closer to the post. Fata Simpkins, the conversion. And it's rich reward for a player who had a terrible run of injuries herself. Kickers wide. New Zealand out to 29 points to 0 now, and on their way to another cup final.
Came off black.
They've just sucked all the energy out of this US team, physically and mentally. Olsen. Tapper with the spot tackle. Waka read it beautifully. Tapper driven back. And again, rushing up New Zealand. That time slipping over, though. And Bitzer goes to ground. Haviland, New Zealand just monstering in, rushing up, chopping them down. And now there's some room for Doyle. Hirini's going to chase, though. Is Doyle going to have the pace to get around Sarah Hirini? She will. They had to persevere, the USA. It's going to be too little too late, but at least they can take something from this semi-final as Lauren Doyle goes in.
Doyle's done a lot of the graft this weekend. Big carries, a lot of defence. Nice to see her get on the end of that one and show her pace out wide, but talk about hounding in defence. They are nailing these Americans, and they're good determination from Hirini, but Doyle can have a bit more space to finish it off.
She's quite an unsung player in the US team, isn't she, Lauren Doyle? Great leader. Always working hard for her team. A lot of experience now. Time to finish us off with 1 second to go.
Okay? Okay, so we can kick now?
Yep. Hold on.
Pinpoint kick, brilliant aerial skills from Chris Thomas. Wonderful in the air. USA want one more. They again rushed up. Bitzer, the pop ball there for Doyle. And that will be all she wrote in this cup semi-final. New Zealand on their way to another decider. The record remains intact, and they were unimpeachable in this one. 29 points to 5. New Zealand over the USA.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Who will they play? The second semi-final up next. Over to Simon and Tiana.
Thank you, Ricky. Yes, history in the making here as Ireland first foot into a cup semi-final up against the hosts Australia. This is an intriguing clash. big question marks as to the outcome of this one. Who is going to get their game into gear early? Who is going to be able to cope with the pressure of a cup semi-final? New Zealand are waiting in that final later on this afternoon. Shani Williams, been there, seen it, done it, got most of the T-shirts. Her experience and the experience of Alicia Quirk, Elliot Green will be very, very important this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. In Australia, obviously taking away that they're the defending series champions, defending Sydney Sevens champions, and they've got the advantage of the home crowd playing on home soil. They'll definitely channel all of that energy this morning, but the Irish, I can't put it past them. They are a team with a never-say-die attitude. They always rise to the occasion, and they seem to have just been getting better and better and better as this weekend has progressed.
Yeah, the ladies in green are certainly on the crest of a wave right now. Lucy Mulhall, the influential skipper, Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, the top try scorer of the weekend so far. It's all in the mix. So good morning to Holly Davison, our referee for this second cup semi-final. The sun beating down now on Spotless Park, but who is it going to be shining on in a quarter of an hour? Emma Sykes with the honours, with the duty of getting things underway. Mulhall. The break there from Anna McGann. Derval Nikovard shown really well through the course of this weekend, done lots of the unseen stuff. There's another break. Higgins feeds back to Hannah Tyrrell.
No! Hands past the ball first.
Well, Ireland getting some confidence in their synchronisation early doors.
Yeah, a few sneaky little line breaks here from Ireland, but they are strong around the ruck. They'll need to use that energy and use that momentum to give their outside players, their speedy players, that time and space that they need to get around the Australian defence.
Emma Tonegato and co watching on from the sidelines. How will they impact on this game later on? A little sidle through there from Hannah Tyrrell. Again, the penalty goes against Australia.
She can't get up the ball.
And for the first time, Ireland are in enemy territory. And that's Eve Higgins, and what a weekend she's had. She really has been so impressive. Just 19 years of age and really showing a great talent that's coming through the Irish ranks.
Yeah, Eve Higgins, she's a real workhorse, and you said it, she's 19 years old, incredible player, and really making her mark on the World Series. Her carries in Dubai were 50 in total. She's got 28 so far this weekend. She's an outstanding player who really sets the platform for the rest of the team.
And Higgins and Tyrrell have combined really well in that Irish midfield already. Mulhall waits for the call. Nikovard stays strong. Shani Williams does really well there. Keeps on her feet. And suddenly Australia are breaking. Elliot Green cut Ireland down 20 seconds from the end of their last meeting in Glendale. She's going to open them up in the first 90 seconds here in Sydney.
Well, if there's one player that knows how to find the try line, it's Elliot Green. But this is where Australia know how to absolutely slice through teams. It came off the back of the hard work at the breakdown there from Shani Williams. So strong, good control. And then Ivania Politi with the tap and go sees that she's got 2-on-1, and it's a beautiful money ball out to Elliot Green, who just puts her head down and canters her way to the try line.
Kudos to Green, but credit again to Ivania Politi. I suspect over the course of the weekend, she has had more mentions in commentary than anybody in this entire tournament. Always seems to be the glue, always seems to be the conduit that releases Australia or gets them out of trouble at key moments. There she goes again, Shani Williams. Scored that lovely try in the quarter-final against France. Australia suddenly firing. It's Green again. It's double trouble from Elia Green, and she loves the moment.
Australia just with the foot on the throat at the moment. Shani Williams in the mix of it. But they saw the space, they stacked right, and it was just a game of numbers. Alicia Quirk just committing that defence there, causing two defenders to kind of stick for 1 second, and then that allowed the space to open up on that right edge for Elia Green once more. But the work in the middle here from Emma Sykes and Alicia Quirk to just engage those defenders to allow all of that space to open for Elia Green. That's class from Australia.
Yeah, we talk about Polite, but also need to mention Emma Sykes. In the absence of Kaslik this weekend, she's had maybe a little bit more responsibility, maybe a little bit more opportunity to really flower as a playmaker. Well, Ireland smarting from those two quick tries.
Back by yellow, play on.
Australia just showing such great capacity to get through the gears so quickly. As Sykes again. Oh my word, what's happening here? Oh, suddenly Elia Green has to reset her sat-nav and goes a bit wrong on that occasion, but the ball is still there for Australia. High call from referee Davison.
Time off, number 7, 12.
Yeah, it's going to be an early change, giving Elia Green a bit of a breather. So Tonagato into the mix. There is Sykes. Quirk throws out wide. Sarai Parky, another who's impressed, the teenager. Lily Dick as well. Such important experience within the ranks now for Australia. The experienced head of Alicia Quirk just calming things down, letting everybody get into position for these next strike moves that they will no doubt try and effect.
Let's go, girls.
Sykes, little change of option, the dab through. Well, it's Nikavad who has to hammer the ball away. What's the call going to be? 5-metre scrum, I think.
An interesting option there for Emma Sykes to put it on the toe 5 metres out of the try line. She obviously saw an opportunity. Ivania Polite steaming on her right side, but I would have thought to spread it out wide. You've got fresh legs in the form of Emma Tonagato sitting on that right edge, who 95% of the time is going across the line in her own 22.
Set. No, 9 back. Advantage offside.
Well, Hall getting caught out there, but Australia aren't going to get caught out here. Tonagato is back in the building. Emma Tonagato, great to see her back on the park. Shoulders all fit, her feet definitely fit, and Australia smiling right now.
Yeah, we spoke about her just moments ago, but it's this woman on screen here, Ivania Polite, just tearing teams through the middle of the field, and Emma Tonagato, she's been instrumental in the success of the Aussies this weekend. Usually a try-scoring go-to, but 13, 14 carries for Australia, the most in total, and she bags herself 5 points.
And it's all coming down this right flank for Australia, isn't it? It's interesting that they've been able to utilise a weakness in the way that Ireland are defending to really get that dominance on the scoreboard. At the break, Australia leading 19 points to 0.
Eyes on me, eyes on me, eyes on me. Listening. Okay, good half of footy, but we need to double. Okay, we need to bank it again, okay?
ruck, the defence, a little bit tighter. We know how they're going to play. Do not fall for a dummy around that offset. Okay, that's when they've got an offset, or they're going to play one out. Your job is to look after that person on the inside. Don't track off them. Keep your heads up at the ruck. It's good. It's good. Keep your heads up at the ruck, okay? Make sure, watch them come down the ruck, and they're going to try and turn the ball over.
Every single possession for this half course, all right, we've got to walk away with points. If we get 3, we walk away with 21, yep?
Yeah.
And they're still at 19, because we've got to go hunting for that ball harder. But you don't chase lost causes. You stick your head in when you're going to come out with them, all right? Then we have patience then for the line speed to get the next one, okay?
Yep.
Let's go.
Come on, girls. Come on, girls.
So the coaches have had their say, and very interesting say it was there from both coaches, both Australians, of course.
Yeah, Anthony Eddy being a big part of the Australian program a few years ago, but interesting points. Yeah, very interesting points from both coaches in the huddles. John Manenti placing emphasis on just maintaining possession, and he wants double the energy that they've given him in this first half. But Anthony Eddy, I found that interesting, sticking your head in the ruck at the wrong times. He wants numbers on their feet. He wants them to be numbers on in attack and defence, and every time they have possession to come away with points.
And Manenti saying that keep your head up at the ruck, to be aware of what's going on around the breakdown, because he knows that's where Ireland can really benefit. They're so quick to react.
No hands.
Well, bit of pressure on the ladies from the Emerald Isle, trying to put a bit of feel-good back into Irish rugby this morning. Penalty call goes to Ireland. Devon Nicovard just skidding to a halt. Mulhall making sure it's there for Higgins. Nicovard bundling away up towards that line. My goodness me, Ireland need a score now. And Hannah Tyrrell is going to cut back in. Almost, but not quite. It is now, or is it? Higgins giving the concrete cuddle. It's not happening. Avard does well. It's out to guess who? Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, top try scorer this weekend. Nabs another one, and a vital one at that.
Amy Lee Murphy-Crowe, she is a try magnet. But Ireland in attack here, just staying patient, getting a nice ball away to the edge and doing what she does best, finishing. But the points that John Manenti raised in defence, Australia, though, don't want to commit to those dummies, don't want to commit through the middle of the field, making sure they're covering their inside shoulder. And if they are going to score points, it's going to be around the outside, and that's exactly what Ireland have done.
65 tries now in 20 tournaments for the Tipperary Tri-Tyro. And such a cutting edge to this Irish mix. You see already third on the list this season. So how does that change things? Into the sun, difficult take, Emma Sykes weighing up the options. Quirk gets the call from Politi. Politi thought she was taken out off the ball there, but Holly Davison didn't.
Emma Sykes and Ivania Politi looking very threatening here, but Holly Davidson saying that Higgins was committed before the pass went, which is a fair call. I think her head was down in the tackle, ready to make.
Set.
So Ireland trying to put some more pressure back on their hosts.
Give her space, thank you.
Higgins, confident, moving the ball, moving the defender around, looking for that half gap, but this time getting isolated.
On the mark, thank you. Yep.
So nicely done there from the youngster Lily Dick. A passive tackle there, and that allowed Lily Dick to be straight over the ball. I know the Aussies are one of the best teams in the world when it comes to their ruck work, so it's a real credit to Lily Dick.
Politi and Williams trying to muscle their way out of the 22 now. Just keeping hold of the ball for a bit. Sykes, lovely step. Williams comes in to release the backs. Cutting back in is Lily Dick. Derval Nicovard trying to catch Australia sleeping. They've got numbers out to the right. It's another try for Ireland. It's another try for Amy Murphy-Crowe.
Emily Murphy-Crowe, she's an outstanding finisher, but all of that work came from the middle of the field. And this woman on screen, she has been outstanding all weekend. The one-step pass there from Mulhall, phenomenal stuff. Can they score more points here? Can they stay in this match?
Mulhall with an important 2 points on offer. And she takes them. And suddenly we're into a one-score game. Australian mentality is now being tested. How fragile is it? Ireland now have the wind in their sails. They've got 2.5 minutes left. It is going to be a fascinating 2.5 minutes. It's been a long, long time since Ireland have beaten Australia, as you can see. Who's going to blink? It's a bit of a stare-off coming ahead. Ellia Green back off the bench to try and use her experience. Ball goes loose. Again, it's Derval Nicovard first to react. Ireland really getting through the gears so quickly. Our presentation not ideal there, though. They've done well the rest of that one back. Little show and go from Emily Lane. Tyrrell. Lane. Derval Nicovard using the dummy from Luke Galvin. Counter-ruck really working well for Australia there, and that is a vital turnover.
What a way to make an impact, as she does. Ellia Green was nail-biting stuff there for a couple of phases with Ireland in possession, but Ellia Green, she comes on field, makes a huge dominant tackle. Thought she was taking her out of the sideline, but then gets to her feet, and the counter-ruck.
With all her experience, all her capacity, it's sometimes tough to remember that Ellia Green's only 25 years of age. She has so much capacity to her game, both in attack and defence.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Keep the gap for me, girl.
So the last few changes off the bench from both sides. Yasmin Meeks in. An errant pass, not helping Australia out there, but they will go from deep. Green revs it up, releases the handbrake, and she's off. Nobody is going to touch Ellia Green. It's hat-trick hero for the hometown team. What a score, what a piece of play from what is quite superb player.
She's a phenomenal athlete, Ellia Green, sealing the deal for the Aussies in this semi-final. But it's amazing how quickly the tables can turn, almost as though Ireland had the upper hand over Australia, but then the ball gets in the hands of Ellia Green and she just pumps the legs with all the momentum to follow through. What a way to make a statement in front of a home crowd here.
Well, she's only 2 tries away from becoming the second Australian to 100 tries in this series, and who knows, it may well happen in the final. That's it, full time. What a semi-final we've seen. Australia have held out principally thanks to that lady. Ireland plucky. They've learned so much from this experience, but the full-time score is Ireland 12, Australia 24. So we're going to have another final as per 12 months ago. I think my pocket money would be on not being such a straightforward final as we had 12 months ago, but you never know when you get to these vital big games who is going to stand up, who is going to suddenly show. And Australia will take a lot from that win because Ireland really pushed them right to the line. John Manenti, a relieved man. Let's get more reaction from the camp with Nat Ioannidis. Nat?
Yeah, I'm down here with the 3-try hero in Elliot Green. Elliot, fantastic result for you guys. Through to another final, but Ireland certainly made it difficult in that second half.
They always do. They're a real tough bunch of Irish girls, and I'm friends with a lot of them. They're really kind, genuine people, but far out they can give it to us. So it's a great battle.
Now, I've already mentioned hat-trick for you today. You also made a massive tackle in that second half. What's been your mindset heading into this tournament? You seem like you're on a real mission.
Well, I'm always playing for the lady above, my mum, but I also play for these girls day in, day out. They're my heart, and I love them to bits, so I'll do anything for them.
As I said, another final against New Zealand. I think it's what a lot of people here in Australia wanted. Just how exciting is that to play in front of home fans?
It's what we wanted, The Black Ferns are an amazing team. We love to play against them, and what better opposition to come up against here in Sydney.
Well, congratulations on the win and good luck in the final.
Thanks so much. Thanks. See you guys.
Well, Elliot Green happy with their lot. John Manenti and his squad happy with their lot. They've now got 7 hours to sit down and prepare for this final. It's a long break, but plenty to reflect on there. There's the semi-finals on the right-hand side of that graphic. New Zealand pretty emphatic over the USA, and Australia holding out against Ireland. Let's take a look at the DHL Impact player. Michaela Blythe coming through strong once again. Shannon Izar, Eve Higgins from Ireland. What a weekend she's had. Disappointment there, but still showing so well. Well, it's been a fascinating hors d'oeuvre from the women's tournament. We've got to wait a little while for the main meal, but what an appetizing meal is in prospect. New Zealand against Australia, the cup final of the 2019 HSBC Sydney Sevens on its way.
Farella will go in under the bar for Canada. The ball's lost and it's scooped up by Arina Bystrova.
Kemba opens up, simple handoff, and that is a perfect start. Overloading on this near side, and it's going to pay off. Patricia Garcia slaloms her way through defenders. Little offload to Caroline Drouin. Siafani says, let's finish it off right here, right now.
Now Blythe's got some space. They're not going to stop Michaela Blythe from there. Tui skipped out of it. She's missed it. She's going to go herself, Ruby Tui. Baker, the powerhouse on the left. Ember's chasing, but Baker's going to get there. Too big, too strong, Shakira Baker.
This is insane from New Zealand.